Hey, everybody. Welcome to Barbecue Nation. I'm JT, along with my Hall of Famer co host, Leanne Whippen, coming to you from our, they're not adjoining, they're on the same plot of land, you might say, the Turn It, Don't Burn It studios in Portland and in Tampa. And we thank you all for listening. We'd like to thank the folks at Painted Hills Natural Beef the way nature intended. We've got the holidays coming up very fast. And if you go to paintedhillsbeef.com and you order something off their website, you can get a 15% discount just by typing in the simple phrase BBQ Nation. That's BBQ Nation. So, I owe our guest today an apology because we tried to do an interview. We did the interview with him when we were in Tennessee, and we had some technical issues and we couldn't fix it. In fact, Dave himself, Dave Heyninck, is he's a photographer and he works with music and stuff in Belgium. Besides being a barbecue pitmaster, he tried to fix it. I sent it to everybody I could possibly think of, and nobody could fix that thing. So, welcome back, Dave, and I do apologize for the inconvenience in Tennessee there.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for the invite.
No problem. Where's your better half today?
Oh, she was tired today, and my daughter, she was going in a bath, and she's doing that kind of stuff now. Maybe she joins later, but I don't think so. She was like, I want to read something and to clear her mind, actually.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
So she has
Very,
her
very
first
wise.
busy day from this work week.
Absolutely. Now we met you at the Jack up at Byron's place, but first I want to talk about barbecue in Europe and in particular Belgium. When people think of Belgium, we think of chocolates, we think of all kinds of fun things. We don't necessarily think about competitive barbecue or barbecue in general. Tell us about the state of barbecue in Northern Europe there and in Belgium in particular.
So for us, it started just in the backyard with my uncle and my dad. And we tried to do things on the barbecue that we are not used to do on the barbecue. Because in Belgium, we just do grilling, the sausage, like steak and things like that, hot and fast. And we tried to do like culinary dishes to make on the barbecue. And so we were just doing things and trying things to find out there was actually a kind of contest in Europe, in Belgium, and it was culinary. So you had the nice plates like you get in the restaurant, but you prepare it on a barbecue. And we did that for a few years, and I met Wim Bloemen and Harry Avinga. And Harry Avinga met Tony Stone. I don't know if you know
Oh yeah,
the
Tony
guy
Stone.
Tony Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they started in honor of Tony Stone a contest in near Amsterdam, and it was another way of barbecue, and for us was like very new because we didn't know anything about pulled pork or brisket or slow cooked ribs or the chicken. So for us was like very new to find out how that works. But we started a kind of small scene, and it was growing and getting we getting better and better in cooking of the way the American way of barbecue.
Is that the way it's thought of in Belgium and in Europe, the quote unquote American way of barbecue?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it started like that. Because yeah, some guys went to the States and they say, yeah, barbecue over there is something else. We need to try to do that. And the competition guys were like, yeah, but you have like the Jack and the big competitions. How can we join that instead of the culinary thing? And yeah, they start organizing contests. And like the second year, I organized the contest in my town, to try to make barbecue bigger in Europe.
You live in St. Nicholas?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
is that a Christmas town? I'm not being funny. I'm asking. I have not been to Belgium. I've been many other places, but my wife's been there
So,
twice, but I have not been there.
yeah, you have a kind of like you have the Christmas guy in the States. We have someone else. He is like a bishop, a holy guy who brings presents for children. But they do it always on the 6th of December.
Ah,
And the town has the same name.
got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, you've done all right. I was looking last night at the European placings for the end of year of 2023. Your team came in fourth overall, fourth in chicken, first in ribs, 10th in pork, and eighth in brisket. Um,
Yeah.
that's that. There's a lot of teams in the U.S. that would literally pull their hair out to get year-end placings like that. Do you agree, Leanne?
I do, totally. I'm kind of curious how many teams are on the list.
Well, they gave a top 10.
Uh,
Oh, I'm
I
curious as
think
to
it's
how much it's grown.
yeah, I think now it's a little bit less. Like we had years we had like 300 teams, and now I think we have 80 teams that did 5 contests, because you need to do at least 5 contests to get your thing in the international team of the year.
Oh,
Well, I would say
Yeah.
80 teams is a pretty good,
well,
you know,
80
stack.
teams, yeah, doing with a mandatory 5, but there's 300 out there that compete. They just don't do all 5, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like in
Mhm.
Belgium, for the Belgium contest, we only ask to do a free contest, because yeah, it's very expensive actually. So there are not a lot of teams that can afford to do 5 contests.
So
How
do you have
did
smokers over
So
there?
we have smokers, yeah. I'm a pallet guy, and a lot of guys thinking it's not a real barbecue, but
Right.
I'm thinking otherwise, and we do really good on the pallet smoker. So I I, I don't think to change to other cookers actually.
Yeah.
you're a Traeger? Excuse me, you're a Traeger man, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a Traeger man, because I'm now Traeger contact me like 6 years ago, and they told me like, "Hey, you want to try this? We come to Europe. Do you want to try our smokers?" So I tried it, and I was actually in love with that smoker. Like before, we had all the things with the barbecue gurus or the kind of controllers, and
Right.
yeah, it was always a hustle with the wires, and sometimes the wires were twist and didn't work like really good.
Mhm.
So this was like something, well, we can sleep at the contest. So
Mhm.
we had a low and slow thing in the contest. Now we a lot of people do hot and fast, but yeah, for us was like, oh, we can sleep, so we can do double contest, and we can drive home safe and things like that.
Mhm.
So at that moment, you don't had a lot of brands. So like Traeger was like the best thing on the market at that time.
Mhm.
So I'm curious about the pellets too. Are all your pellets imported from the States, or is there a pellet manufacturer, more than one perhaps, in Europe?
I think everything is imported from the States,
Oh,
because you have a lot of free trees in Canada, and like the pellets that they make over here, I don't like them actually. I tried a few brands, and they actually normally they make pellets for like to heat to
yes.
and yeah, and the I don't like actually. They try to make like barbecue pellets, but they are not so hard, and when you have like the auger, it crushes all. Yeah, they break the pellets actually, because why you get more dust and things like that. So
Oh,
that's
interesting.
why I like brands like B&B and Traeger, and actually the imported stuff.
Do you have in Europe, this is just kind of a side question, Dave, but is there, like here, especially when you're dealing with food products, we have the USDA, the FDA, which is the Food and Drug, and the United States Department of Agriculture, and all. We have these various things, and states, individual states have their own versions of that. Is there a European, because you're part of the EU, is there a European have some sort of governing body that would control like the quality of pellets? Because here, if you buy fuel for heating your home, if you have a pellet stove in your home, which are quite popular, especially like where I live, but it'll tell you right on there, do not use this for food because they're made differently. So they're pretty strict about that.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, no.
No, because still now we like pellet is now like, I think in totally like 10 years in Europe, but still when I do like a demo for Traeger or something like that, a lot of people are still like, what? A barbecue on pellets?
Yes.
No. They don't know that. So I get a lot of questions of people that, hey, I bought one. I see the pallet bags in my Home Depot, very cheap. Can I use those? I say, no, don't use them. They're really bad to use. And some guys really try it, and I'm thinking like, you're busy with food. You're poisoning yourself. So, but no, it's not on the bag for. Don't use it for food, because they don't know it actually.
Yeah, there's a lot more glue in the home heating pellets than there is in the food pellets. I know that. I've actually been to a couple of pellet factories, and they explained the difference to me. We are going to take a break here on Barbecue Nation. We're going to be back with Dave Heyninck in just a minute. Dave is from the Laurentis. We're going to talk about if he's a relative of Dino De Laurentiis when we come back from the break here on Barbecue Nation. Stay with us. Welcome back to Barbecue Nation. I'm JT, along with Hall of Famer Leanne Whippen, of course, my co-pilot, co-host, and co-conspirator in all these projects. Don't forget that it's really easy to get a hold of us. You can go to our website, which is Barbecue Nation JT. Of course, Leanne has her own websites. We have a ton of them. So, and you can email us. It's just go to barbecuenationjt.com and you can send us an email there. We'd like to welcome to the show a new sponsor, Hammerstall Knives and Heritage Cookware. By the way, Leanne, I got mine today. My boxes showed up.
Well, that's good news. I have not, but I'm a little bit further maybe. And I'm also at my mom's house, so maybe when I get home.
Maybe they just didn't want to haul them up 2 flights of stairs. I have no idea. But we're talking with.
I'll be on the lookout.
You'd be on the lookout. We're talking with Dave Heyninck today from Belgium. We met Dave at the Jack. He and his wife. Is it Catherine?
Catherine, yes.
Catherine. Okay. Lovely people. And they were on our ill-fated show back there, but that's another story. I did want to ask you how you came up with the name Laurentiis. Are you, I know you work with imagery and film and stills and music and all that stuff, Dave, but are you related to Dino De Laurentiis or anything like that? Or is it just a name you liked?
No, it's actually a big story. It's a long story, actually.
Well, we've got time.
My dad was looking for a barbecue team name, and at that point, now you have all the cool names like When Pigs Die and names like that. And at that time, everybody was like using stranger names, like Philouse or things like that. So my dad was looking for a name, and he came up with that name. And actually, Laurentius is a saint, was a bishop, and in the the early years, he gave away his wealth, and the church said to him, like, you are crazy, you gave away your wealth to the poor, um, you you're probably beset by the devil. So they tried to cure him, to put him on a fire, on a grill.
Oh, they
And
roasted him.
after a time, yeah. And after a time, they ask him, like, are you back to your senses? And he said, no, and you can better turn me over because I'm already on one side. And that's actually the story. You can find it online, actually, about that saint, and that's the name. So like last year, my dad quit with the team, and we were thinking, like, oh, can we maybe change the team name, because everybody is questioning what kind of name is that. Even on our side, it's like, oh, that's a strange name, but we do it now for 12, 13 years, so it's everybody know us with that name, so we're gonna keep it. It's a good name.
It is a
It
good
is.
name.
It is. When you're competing in Belgium, do you have sanctioning bodies over there, or like our Kansas City Barbecue Society or Memphis, or do you have anything like that over there?
So we had WBQA, the World Barbecue Association. They do more the culinary thing. It's not popular in the States. Then we have like SCA, the steak competition guys, and you have KCBS.
Oh,
But like the other things you don't have over there, like Florida and
yeah,
things like that. You don't
FBA.
have that. No, you don't have them in Europe.
Did
And
you?
I find, I'm sorry,
No,
I
go ahead.
find that the meats are different in my experience over in Europe, and different, especially, like a brisket or a pork shoulder or whatever. When you compete, do you use what's readily available over there, or do you try to mimic American style as well?
So my biggest thing, my how can I say it? My I'm working for a wholesale butcher. So I do the marketing of a wholesale butcher. I make like pictures and movies for them. And the great thing is I can ask the guys over there, like, can you buy me that? Can you buy me that? So they searching for that kind of brisket. And when they come in, I have first choice to have from the whole palette to choose my pieces of meat. Like I use Snake River Farm, I use Swift Ribs, I use and like pork, the shoulders. Like in the beginning, you didn't find like Boston butts or something like that, but that's now we talked with the butchers and with the pork business, and now we have like really good pork butts. So yeah, the meat is, I think you can compare it like in the States.
When
So
when
when
somebody
we were
okay,
sorry.
no, it's all right. Go ahead.
So when we were at the Jack, Byron bought our meat. Yeah, I asked him to select my meat, and it was almost no difference between the meat from Europe of the States that I worked with.
So when you're at a competition, does it draw people from the civilian population to come watch, maybe sample what you're doing? And if you do get to sample for the the spectators, what is the reaction? What is their personal reaction to when they, pop a piece of brisket in their mouth, or if you give them a rib or something and they've never had it before? Do they think it's so foreign and different to them because of the flavor profile, or how does that work there?
They are like in our in Europe, they like meat tender. So it doesn't matter what you have, is it tender, they like it. So when you have a rib that's nice cooked, they like it. But competition style, they're thinking like, oh, I love it when it's full of the bone. So yeah, they think some guys say, yeah, I like it, but it needs to be a little bit further so you can pull out the bone. But most of the people are like, wow, this is crazy. Like when they taste brisket, they're thinking like, wow, what's this? Because they never taste it, or they don't make it because brisket is really expensive over here.
Yeah. We got to take another break. We're going to be back with Dave Heyninck from Belgium and the Laurentis, if I said that properly, barbecue team with Leanne and myself right after this. You're listening to Barbecue Nation. Welcome back to Barbecue Nation on the USA Radio Network. So we'd like to thank the folks at Painted Hills Natural Beef. Speaking of beef, beef the way nature intended, and beef just like your grandfather used to make. Don't forget to go to their website, paintedhillsbeef.com. You can do an online order there. When you go to checkout, just type in BBQ Nation at the bottom. There's a little place for it. And you'll get 15%, and that beef will arrive at your door in a day or so. And also pig powder. We have the owner of Pig Powder right here on the show, Leanne. Pig Powder was created by her father, Jim Tab, commonly known as Trim. It won the coveted Best Rub on the Planet award. A lot of pitmasters use it. And Leanne uses it. I use it. Maybe we got to get Dave to use it there.
Yeah.
And
I know it. It's a good rub, actually.
Oh, thank you.
It's a very good rub. So all you have to do is go to pigpowder.com and it will arrive. You got to pay for it, of course, but it will arrive at your door very shortly too. So there you go. We're talking with Dave Heyninck here from Belgium. And I'm curious, because of the advent of competition barbecue, Dave, are you seeing actual barbecue restaurants, whether they're come in and sit down or just take out, if you will, in Belgium and other places in Europe?
Yeah, you see it like the last years popping the barbecue restaurants. Yeah, it's growing. It's growing.
Yeah. And on their menus, are there kind of standard for us? I mean, you've got your brisket, your pork, a combination plate. Maybe there's some sausage on that, what have you. And then you've got some sides like mac and cheese or beans, what have you. Is it very similar to an American menu?
They try to copy the American way of barbecue. Most of them, they have like a few things on the side, because there's always somebody that say like, I don't like the American way. Yeah, they didn't taste it, but they don't like it.
Yeah.
So you have like steaks on the side, but most of them have like the barbecue platters with brisket and pulled pork or pulled beef and some ribs and smoked chicken and sausage. So yeah, they are really good to copy the great food in from the States.
What's your favorite? Brisket, pork, what is it?
My favorite, oh, that's a hard question actually, because most of the time when I'm eating ribs, I'm thinking like, I can do that better. Like brisket, most of the time my favorite is brisket. When I see it on the menu, I order it always just to try it.
Are you ever happy with your turn in? I know a lot of pitmasters and stuff, they'll like you just said, I could do that a little better, or I should have tweaked this a little bit, or maybe there should have been more salt or more garlic or whatever it is. Or do you ever get done with a cook at a competition and go, that's the best I can do?
Yeah, yeah. You know, barbecue is like damage control. So when I have my I taste it. So if I thinking it's not salt enough, I take shaker with salt and put some salt on it. So
Yeah.
I try to give it the best at the moment that I can give. So um you know, we are first in Europe with ribs at this moment, but at the Jack we had the last place, really lost that last place, and I saw the scoring and I was like, they were too kind for me. So I'm very to myself, very I put my level
Critical.
very
Hmm.
yeah.
So what gives, Leanne? You were one of the judges.
Well, we don't know where it's coming from, and we don't
I know.
judge based on that.
No, my ribs were not ready. So we were in the cook and I wrapped them and they were really nice. And I pulled them off at the moment when I thinking when we used to pull them off and they were not ready. So I put them just back on and we turned it in 20 seconds before turn in. And
Wow.
I tasted while my father-in-law was running with the box, and I tried it and was like, no, this is not a winner. Of at least not our standard of rib. So I was really not happy about the ribs. And they gave me like 5 and 6 and a 7 for tenderness. And I was like, those 7s, they are too nice for me. Because for me, it was really like 5. And I think if you can say to your own meat, like, okay, it was a 5, you're correct. That's a way that you can learn and to
Mhm.
be can be better in your barbecue.
That was my next question, Dave. What is the biggest thing you think you've learned by competing at the Jack?
Oh, what we learned at the Jack. I learned what I learned was like there is more than the competition. I learned like what Byron, what he did for us, and like the team South Pork, what those guys did for us. And like Ed with the Fast Eddies, he drive like 10 hours to bring us cookers. That's the thing that I learned. Like we need to help more each other. If I'm not able to cook at a contest, then there's a team from the States or from Canada or any part of the world. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be faster to help those guys, to assist, to help those guys to have a setup or something like that. That's what I'm actually learned in the States.
Mhm.
Does that go for the German team too? And let me tell you why I asked that question. When I got there, I don't know if it was you or somebody affiliated with you, or I don't think it was. I think it was, what do they call him? Ziggy? One of the teams. Anyway, I asked if he was German. He goes, no, we fight the Germans. The whole Europe fights the Germans.
Okay. No, it was not someone from us.
Okay. Well, I don't remember because they all were kind of coming at us at one time there. And I just thought that was such a funny answer because he just kind of stood up straight and he said, no, we fight the Germans. Everybody in Europe
Okay.
fights the Germans. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
there is a history.
Yeah, there is a history there like that. What the things you saw and learned at the Jack, have you already started to incorporate them? And it's just been a month and a half, give or take. Have you already started to incorporate some of that in your cooking?
always.
Yeah.
So the first thing what I do after cooking is like I have my my spreadsheet with all my hours on it, with all my steps on it, so I can um, cross them down. And when I pull something off or I put something on, I rewrite the hour. Or when I did something different, I write it down, and we'll see to the scorings. And I'll try always like 3 cooks to see if it works or not. To do like small tweaks to make it perfect.
How
So
often
I
do you
rather,
how often do
yeah.
you practice, Dave?
Not that much. We do like 12 competitions in a year. And now last year we did only 8, I think, or 9. But I'm so busy, I have actually no time to practice.
Yeah. Do you
So I have my list, and I try to do every time the same.
and are you using the same rubs and seasonings and stuff every time, or are you always tweaking those?
No, for my rub and my sauce, you can I use just commercial like you can buy in the store.
Yeah. Well, you ought to use pig powder.
Because
Yeah.
yeah. And butter up.
And
Well,
butt rub, right?
Leanne shared a secret with us about what 4 months ago or so. I think maybe it was when Byron was on the show before we went back there, and you said that you had actually in some of your competitions you had mixed Byron's butt rub and your pig powder together. You
That's
didn't
correct.
share the ratios or anything, which is fine, but you said that was a winning combination for you.
It is, because his is, kind of salt and peppery forward, and mine's sweet with a little heat. So it does make a good combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, something.
And I think if you use first like the butter up, your meat starts to sweat.
Yeah, from the
You
salt.
have like the moist coming out, and you put the sweet on, so the sugar can mix with the meat. I think that's going to be a good combination. Yeah.
Well, see, we may have discovered something here today
There
for
you
you,
go.
Dave. You just never know. What is your family? You've got a couple of kids and stuff. What's your family think of all this?
I have just one kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
and
read my notes wrong.
maybe I have one more, but I don't know about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to pry.
No, I was already busy with competition barbecue before I met my wife, Katrine, and yeah, it was deal of the package. So, and my daughter, she from the beginning going with us. So when she was like 2 years and a half, she's doing competition barbecue.
Well, there you go.
So for her, it's like nature. Like, yeah, she's used to it.
Just happens. We're going to take another
Yeah.
break. We're going to come back and wrap up the show with Dave Heyninck from Belgium, talking about competition barbecue in Europe and what he learned at the Jack. And Dave is going to stick around for after hours, so we'll be back. Stay with us. Welcome back. Try that again. Welcome back to the nation. That's Barbecue Nation. I'm JT along with Leanne Whippen, and we've got Dave Heyninck with us today from Belgium. I got to ask you a couple of obvious questions, Dave. When do people always ask you about chocolate if they've never been to Belgium?
You have the holy three, yeah. You have beer, you have the waffles, and you have chocolate. So you have a mix of questions. When we are in the States and they ask us, "Oh, where you're from?" and we say Belgium, it's like, "Oh, you have all day waffles, or you drink all day beer, or you have a lot of chocolate?" And the answer is yes.
Yeah. Well, maybe we ought to move there, Leanne.
I'm thinking so.
Yeah, I'm thinking that wouldn't be
I need to ask him, what's your favorite chocolate over there?
Oh, yeah, I don't know how it works in like the brand, like Callebaut.
Mhm.
Callebaut, I really like that kind of chocolate, because it's really high quality of chocolate.
Mhm.
I tried some chocolate from the States, and what I'm thinking, like, it's a lot of sweeter than our chocolate. Our chocolate is more, yeah, it's less sweet. And I like really dark chocolate, like with high percentage of cacao.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You have M&Ms.
yeah, of course.
Okay. And M&Ms with peanuts?
We have M&Ms with peanuts, and thank you for the very special ones. Like now we have with brownie and with salted caramel and all
Wow, he's up on
different
his
kind.
M&Ms.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Yeah.
Because you just happen to be talking or sharing the screen with the M&M queen of the world right
I
there.
know. I love peanut M&Ms. They're delicious.
Yeah. So I'm always looking out for you, Leanne. Always looking
Thank
out
you.
for you. But I
Thank you.
just had to check on that. Put on your thinking cap for a second, Dave. And where do you see barbecue in general and then barbecue competitions, say 5 years from now in Europe?
Ooh, that's really hard question.
I know.
We are at this moment in a really, really tough moment of the competition because it's so expensive. So we are talking with a lot of people to try make it, yeah, a way to survive actually the competition, because like, okay, 80 teams are a lot of teams, or 300 teams are a lot of teams, but it's very expensive to travel through Europe and buy meat. So we are looking for solutions, and I hope that we can talk each other in 5 years about this, and that's back big, like just before the COVID kicked in.
Well, you said a couple times how expensive it is. Can you put that into a rough number for us? Leanne, what is at a retail level, what does a brisket cost in Florida, for example? If you want to go grab one and you've got to do a cook with it, how much does a full packer
Well, if you want to
cost
get
you?
a premium brisket, that's like, I don't know, 18 pounds, it's a couple $100.
Yeah. And how does that equate in Europe, Dave?
Like the Gold Snake River, it's like 300 euros. So that's almost the same, I think.
Yeah. I don't know what the exchange rate is right now for euros and dollars, but
It's almost the same. I
is
think,
it?
like, if put it in dollars, I think $320, $340.
Yeah. Well, it is expensive. Do you get support from, you said you worked for a meat packing company and butchers and that. Do you get support from the actual, like Snake River or Swift or Hormel or any of those companies?
From those companies, no. We don't. I don't get any support of them, but I'm doing marketing, so I have marketing budget.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I have a good sponsorship. No, I talked with my boss, and we like the first year after COVID, we sponsored all the Belgian teams that want to be sponsored, their meets, 100%.
Good.
So he was like the after COVID, like, everybody has like his bruises. We need to help the competition barbecue. So he told me, like, contact every Belgium team, and I give them a sponsorship. They get from me a meat package to do competition. And yeah, of course, I was a part of it. Our team was also sponsored by them.
Excellent. I see. Is that Gentleman Jack on the shelf behind you there? The bottles? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, actually, two special bottles. The first one was from the Jack 2018, because we had the second place in Cooking from the Homeland.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is actually the best international in pork, because we had the fifth place pork at the Jack this year.
Oh, excellent.
That's great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you have yours, Leanne?
I do. I don't know where they are. They're
Okay.
buried somewhere. Yeah.
I-
back in the wood chick days, I had them engraved at the Jack when I was competing, and had wood chicks put on it in the year. Yeah.
Oh, good for you. I only have one, and that's fine. That works out in the good. If there was something that you could perhaps change or alter a bit, Dave, about barbecue competitions in Europe, what would it be?
I really like brisket, but I'm thinking if they skip the briskets, we get more teams.
I say skip
I-
the chicken.
But chicken is the cheapest one, and the brisket
That's
is more
true.
expensive. But I know for competition is brisket a little bit better, because it's actually the game maker. You can have great scoring on the free categories, and have a bad scoring on brisket and losing the grand champion. So for competition, is the brisket actually the best one? But for the price, I think a lot of people thinking 300 euros for a brisket. Of course, it's a very high prime brisket for the 300 euros, but still a lot of people are thinking like, oh, that's a lot of money.
That leads me, you just said something, and we've only got about a minute left, Dave. Do they use the same grading system for beef in Europe as they do in the States? Prime, choice, etc.?
No. The most of the time it's just the selection of the butcher. The butcher select his meat at the farms, and that his skill to select the meat. Actually, there's no grade scale.
Wow.
That's interesting. That's really interesting, because like I said earlier, here after the animal has been harvested, which is a nice way to put it, then they go through and grade the meat, and they put their stamp on it, and then you're assured a certain level of quality there. Dave Heyninck, real quick, how can people find out about the Laurentis barbecue team and what you're doing as far as on social media?
We have our Facebook group, and of course on my own Facebook group, that's Dave Traeger Project. I'm sorry, it's in Dutch, so so I make like small clips and things like that, but you can find our things from Laurentius on it.
There you go. We're going to get out of here. Davey's going to stick around for after hours. We thank you all for listening to Barbecue Nation, and we will be back next week with another show. As usual, we hope everybody's having a great holiday season. Dave, thank you for being with us. And for Leanne and myself, take care, and remember our motto: turn it, don't burn it.
Okay.
All right, let's do some after hours. Let me grab my notes here. I cleaned my office and I found all the different versions of After Hours, Leanne. I've got a stack about 2 inches high. So you never know what you're going to get today. Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody, welcome to After Hours here on Barbecue Nation. I'm JT along with Leanne, and we'd like to thank the folks at Painted Hills Beef, Natural Beef, I should say, for sponsoring After Hours. Go to their website, paintedhillsbeef.com, and you can order your own delivered right to your house. We've got Dave Heyninck with us today from Belgium, and this is where we subject our guests to torture, basically, Dave. So I hope you're ready. Anyway,
Okay.
Not really.
Not really, but it's kind of fun. So we'll start this way. Who's the best in barbecue in Europe besides you? Something simple.
Who's the best in barbecue beside me?
Yeah.
I don't know. No, actually, I think the guys from Austria that were at on our on the Jack also they are very good, like cook lunch. Garrett, he's a really good cook, and it's always fun to see him on the competition because it so there is some competition, but actually I don't think they are really bad cooks on in the competition in Europe. Everybody has like a thing in barbecue.
Okay. So if you could dine with and prepare dinner for a historical figure, who would it be and what would be on the menu?
Ooh. Have time to think, yeah?
Yeah.
That's a hard question, actually. Historical figure. Actually, don't
We can
know.
come back to it.
Yeah, we can come back to it.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay. Have you ever come across a food item that you just could not master cooking? It can be barbecue, it could be regular in the kitchen stuff, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was like in a Chinese store and I saw like a funny fruit thing. And I told my mom like I want to try that. It was like very expensive, like 25 euros for like a thing. And we were driving at home, and I was telling to her like, "Wow, it smells over here like garbage." So we closed the windows, and it starts more smelling. So after, it was before the cell phones with internet. So I came home and I looked up on the internet and I bought actually a durian. I don't know if you know what it is, a durian. It's like a brown fruit and it smells like garbage.
Oh,
And like in Asian, they really like it. And I tried it, but it stinks so much. So I
okay.
threw it away.
Well, that might answer this next question. What's the worst thing you've ever eaten?
Yeah, that.
That? Okay. I got it. I got it. What would you say your success to failure ratio is when you're trying to create um a new recipe for barbecue?
It's very I fail almost not. And the reason why is my mom and dad, they have a catering company. I've been to culinary school, and I'm cooking for a lot of years. So in the past, I failed a lot and I tried a lot, but now I have my basics and I keep my basics. And when you learn those basics, and you can think in that way, there's always a solution. So when it fails, there is always a way to fix it.
Got it. What's your absolute favorite non-barbecue food or dish, and not that Chinese fruit thing you were talking about?
My favorite one. Uh, um, I go for Dame Blanche. Dame Blanche, and Dame Blanche is actually vanilla ice cream with chocolate, hot chocolate sauce on top.
There you go. So is that chocolate sauce the way you like it, a darker chocolate, or is it just the American's own light brown Hershey chocolate?
No, the dark one. Yeah.
Dark one.
So you
Okay.
have the sweetness and the bitterness of the chocolate and the sweetness of the ice cream that mixed with each other. So delicious.
Got it. If Leanne made you supreme ruler of barbecue for one day, what would you, as supreme ruler, decree about barbecue?
Barbecue every day.
Okay. Okay.
Everyday barbecue.
What's your least favorite activity?
The dishes.
Okay. What I'm with you. What's your favorite city to visit when you're outside of Belgium?
I like we've been last summer to Italy, and I really liked the town, Siena.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that town. Yeah.
Well, Leanne is close friends with George Clooney, and she's been to his house there on Lake Como. So,
Yeah.
Maybe she'll set you up there. Do you remember the first thing you ever got in trouble for as a kid?
Yeah. Oh no, that's a really bad one. I put my middle finger up to a nun,
Oh.
and I was like 6 years old.
How'd that
I
work
was on
out for you?
school. Yeah, I was on school and I was almost expelled on school when I was 6 years old. I'm
Wow.
not proud of it, by the way.
No, I understand.
But
I
it happened.
understand. Those nuns were pretty quick with those rulers, though. I remember that.
Yeah.
They absolutely were. What is your absolute best day in life so far?
Yeah, that's an easy one. The birth of my daughter.
There you go.
It's
There you
a
go.
classic one. Yeah.
And what's the first thing you do when you get out of bed in the morning? This is Leanne's favorite question.
No, it's not.
Turn off my wake up call.
Okay. All right.
That's good.
I don't know how it is in Europe, but in the States, it's kind of like the Wild West. What do you think is the biggest change that should be made in food advertising?
What I don't know how it is in the States, but we see you have in Europe like the E numbers. Do you have those in the States?
Not
No.
in the advertising, no.
No, no. But on the package, you have the E numbers.
What are the E numbers?
So like they make in Europe when you have like ingredients, the special ingredients with the long names, the bad,
Right.
not all are bad ones, they give an E number. But because a lot of those ingredients are bad, but they are not, they're also good ones. So it's a bad thing. A lot of it has a bad reputation, the E number. So a lot of guys are now marketing with this has no E numbers, but they don't use the E numbers. They use the actual names. So it's wrong way to make
It's
a
false
marketing. To say,
advertising.
Yeah.
yeah. and I don't like that. False advertisement about food is so wrong, and you see it a lot with even very big companies, and I don't like that.
Well, here they just put those actual big names on the back of the package, but nobody can read them or pronounce them. So they either have to go to Google and look them up, or they just don't even worry about it. So,
Yeah.
What? Excuse me. What is something your spouse was right about, but you still think she was wrong about?
Oh, she's always right.
There you go.
Smart
Good
man.
Always
answer.
right. Sometimes I just say my opinion, and I say you're right. And if sometimes she's wrong, then can I say like I told you? But even then, she's always right. Always.
Smart man. Smart man. If you could instantly become a master of a musical instrument, which one would it be? Maybe you already are. I don't know.
No, no, no. Because you say like music guy. I like music, but I don't play music. By the way, um, yeah, I think like guitar or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, if you were an animal, Dave, what animal would you be and why?
a fox.
A fox?
Yeah, a fox because it's our team logo.
Well, there you go. What's your favorite movie? A classic movie? Um, Mine is Casablanca. Leanne's is Animal House. But what is your favorite movie?
Yeah, I watch a lot of movies actually. My favorite is like Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
That's I really like that movie. It's yeah, the emotion you got from that movie, it's really, really, yeah, really good movie.
absolutely. Um, you don't have capital punishment in Europe, right?
What's capital
They
punishment?
put you to
Sorry.
death.
No, no,
Okay.
we don't have
Because one of our questions here is, what would your last meal be if you were on death row?
He doesn't have to
that.
worry about
Yeah, he can eat anything he wants.
it.
Yeah, before I die, my thing, I think I will eat like some kind of very good brisket or barbecue, a
Okay.
big barbecue platter. Yeah.
What is one thing you miss about your 20s? You're not that old, but I'm assuming you're out of your 20s.
Yeah. Um, what I missed, I think party. I didn't party that much. I didn't go out with friends or something like that. I worked a lot in my 20s.
Yeah,
So when I'm thinking back of those days, yeah, maybe less work and more fun.
there you go. Um, can you tell us the absolute best and worst concert you ever went to?
My best concerts. I saw ECDC. That was great. And the baddest one, I think Simple Minds. You know the Simple Minds?
Yeah, I've seen him in concert. I didn't think they were that bad.
Yeah. And I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, they are good, but I think I saw them on a very bad day.
Got it.
They don't sound a lot like themselves, but I didn't think it
Yeah,
was horrible, but they just don't sound like they do on their
I was
albums.
a little bit disappointed because
Mhm,
like the singer, he was not in shape at that moment. And
mhm.
yeah, I was a little bit disappointed at that moment.
Name one book that should be mandatory reading for everybody.
Oh, I'm not a book guy. Um,
Well, it could be
a
on your
barbecue
Kindle.
barbecue book.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, in Europe they need to read like Meathead or like from Franklin's or a book like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
If you could erase one mistake from history, what would the mistake be and why? Can be
Uh,
any time frame.
I think because we are from Europe, I think in our Belgium history actually we had a king that really wrong things in Africa. And I'm thinking like if I have the power to change that moment, I want to really change that moment. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. You know, there was a good kind of reference to that in that Tarzan movie with oh gosh, can't remember the actor's name. He's a young guy. His dad's an actor too, but they were talking about trying to get the diamonds to rule Europe and stuff for your king
Yeah.
there. That was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time to get back to the historical figure. If we
Yeah.
gave you 17 minutes now, so
Mhm.
Yeah.
if you could cook
Um,
for and then dine with a historical figure, who would it be and what would be on the menu?
I'm thinking we've been to Memphis, so I'll choose for Elvis.
There you go.
Elvis Presley.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
And I will cook something healthy for him. So because
He might
Yeah, right.
he might
I
not
think
eat
the
it.
sandwich, yeah, I think the sandwich is peanut butter with
Bananas.
bananas.
Mhm.
That's his killer, his
What is
silent killer.
peanut
So
butter silent
maybe we need to
killer?
try to cook something healthy for him.
Goes it. You say I like my fried nanners. I like my nanners. So Dave Heyninck, you've been a great guest and thank you. And we really enjoyed it. And we will have you back one of these days.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you at the Jack next year.
Yeah, we're gonna do our best in next year, and we'll see.
Well, good for you.
And keep working on those ribs.
Yeah.
You know, we had actually such a great year with ribs. Actually, a really, really, really good year with ribs. We had from the small amount of contests, we had 5 first places, and you come
Wow.
over to the Jack, and it was like, oh, why
Of all
this moment?
things. Yep.
Why?
That's always the way
Yeah,
it works, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did your schedule just get thrown off for some reason?
No, I think the we had provided everything that we want. We didn't miss anything. But it were different cookers, and even the same model in Europe, the eventually cooker on the field react a little bit different.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's competition. And
That's it. That's it.
yeah, they were not ready, so there was no way to have some kind of damage control. So we turned it in, and yeah,
It happens, buddy.
yeah,
It
it
happens.
happens. It
Mhm.
happens. It happens. Yeah,
Well, Dave,
but afterwards, that 5th place, we are very happy with that
Yeah, and
5th place. So
yeah, that's
Yeah,
we
great.
take that really, for us, it was like forget the ribs, the pork.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, it's been a real pleasure, and thank you for taking the time. I know it's getting late in Belgium, but
Mhm.
we appreciate it. Say hi to your wife for us, and
Yes.
it's
We'll
all
do
good,
that.
buddy. All right.
And happy
Okay. Thank
holidays.
Yeah,
you.
yeah. We'll be back next
Yeah.
week with
Happy
another.
holidays.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. We'll be back next week with another edition of After Hours here on Barbecue Nation. For Leanne and myself and Dave, we hope you all have a great week, a great holiday season. And remember our motto, turn it, don't burn it. Take care, everybody.